Welcome to the channel. We're playing 20 questions with
Helen of thecoffeemonsterzco.
who you frequently come up in these as the person that got people
Oh,
into
no.
fountain pens.
I'm sorry.
So I'm really excited to see what your answers will be to these questions. When I say fountain pen, what pen do you think of?
The Lamy Safari.
All right. How did you get into pens?
I was in high school and I had a crush on a guy, and he was into fountain pens. So he introduced them to me, and initially I liked it just to kind of have something in common with him. But then quickly I realized that it was really my thing, and I have been using it ever since.
All right. What was your first pen?
The Pilot Metropolitan Fine.
All right. What's your current daily driver?
I have two. Can I say two?
Yeah.
Okay. And I have it here to show. So this is the Leonardo Momento Magico in an extra fine nib, and then the Pilot Vanishing Point in a fine nib.
Love a vanishing point. They're so satisfying to use.
The classic pen.
Well, and they're just like, it's such a satisfying click.
Yeah, and I know there are like more retractable pens coming out in the market, but I think that's the only gold nib retractable pen right now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
What's your favorite ink?
The Diatramentis Document Black, which is about to be my first empty bottle.
Oh, interesting.
Right.
What's your favorite brand of either pens or ink?
Um, for pens, that's hard to say. I try not to buy multiple pens from the same company unless like they're very distinct. Maybe Pilot. And for ink, I think also Pilot or Robert Oster.
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Pilot is the most named pen brand for this section.
Yeah, I think they have it all.
They do.
Yeah.
Vintage or modern?
Uh, Modern only because I don't have enough experience with vintage. Yeah.
That's fair. I feel like you sometimes need somebody to introduce you to their vintage collection before you sort of are comfortable enough to be
Mhm.
hands-on with
Yeah,
vintage.
and I think there's more maintenance involved with vintage pens.
Yeah, definitely depending on what vintage you have.
Yeah,
Do you swatch all your inks?
I try to, but not always.
All right. Do you always put the same ink in every pen or do you switch it up?
Mm, for my daily, like more serious writing with black, I use the same combo, but I always keep different pen and ink combinations just for fun.
Do you keep your nib writing samples so you know how every pen writes, or do you just know the nib in every pen?
I do not keep
All right. What's a pen you wish you could see in person?
it. Give me a second. I forgot which company. It might be Visconti. There's I think it's called Visconti Checkmate. It's like a interactive fountain pen, and it has a chessboard wrapped around the body, and the chess pieces like come out, and you can like retract it.
It's either Visconti or it's Montegrappa, but I will leave a link to it down below
Oh,
because I know the pen you're talking about.
yeah, I wouldn't want to own it, but I would like to see it in person.
Yeah, because whoever it is also did a Scrabble board one.
Oh, interesting.
Either
Yeah.
a Scrabble board or a crossword puzzle. I remember seeing that one in person and thinking it was really
Really?
cool. What's your current grail?
Um, had to be something hard to get. Maybe a Nikaya.
Ooh.
I Yeah, I think those are they're not readily available, and you can only get in Japan, I think.
For me, grail is a loose term. It can
Okay.
be like even something that's like currently out of your price range can be a gram.
Mm, probably still in the kaya. Those are pretty pricey.
That's fair.
Yeah,
But they're so pretty.
they are. They are.
What's a pen you'd recommend to a beginner?
Twisby Eco, always.
Okay. What ink would you recommend to a beginner?
Honestly, any of the Pilot Iroshizuku ones, they're not the most affordable to start with, but I think they're just the least fussy. And I mean, I think there's a reason why everybody loves them. So,
That's fair. What advice do you have for somebody who might want to start using a fountain pen but is a bit intimidated by them?
it would depend on why they're intimidated, but I would say just to fundamentally view fountain pens as a writing utensil. Um, and really, the only difference between getting a fountain pen and like buying a ballpoint pen is you have to find a way to put the ink inside the pen. And there's like a lot of different terminologies, the different nib grinds, body materials, but that really just comes with it as a hobby. So maybe approach it just as a writing utensil. And if you're interested in specifics, you can watch YouTube videos or go on the fountain pen Reddit.
Fountain pen Reddit is a wonderful and very dangerous place. What filling mechanism do you think is most interesting, regardless of if you actually like to use it or not?
My favorite is a piston filling mechanism, but an interesting one is there's like a magnetic.
Oh, yeah, pen BBS is magnetic filling.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't looked too much into it, but that looks fun.
Apparently it is fun, but you also have to like grease the magnet so that it slides. Like it seems very complicated.
Yeah.
What size of nib do you prefer to write with?
Japanese fine or Western extra fine.
All right. Is there a style of nib you love or find interesting but would never actually use?
I really like playing with flex nibs, but I wouldn't use it for an extended period of time just because I don't want to be conscious of the pressure that I'm putting down throughout the entire writing experience.
Yeah, you have to think to use a flex nib.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Do you always use the same paper? If so, what paper? If not, what paper's your favorite?
I either use the Rhodia or Tomo River.
All right. Do you have a least favorite ink or ink color family?
Hmm. Okay, so I love yellow. It's probably my favorite color, but I have yet to find my perfect yellow ink on the market. So for now, yellow.
Yellow fountain pen ink is really hard.
Yeah, it's either like too light, too orange, too gold. There's just no in between.
No, there really isn't. Or you've got something like Gerbon Boutin d'Or, which looks great on swatches, but as soon as you write with it, it is unreadable.
Yeah, I actually bought the new Pilot Iroshizuku Toro, the yellow. It looked amazing online, and I was overconfident. And instead of buying a sample, I just bought the full bottle, and I was like, "This is my perfect yellow." Sold it after one fill. Yeah.
I've done that with inks before. Well, thanks for playing 20 questions.
Okay, that went really quick. Thank you for having me.